Hi, my name's Mel. Welcome back to my bookshelf. Today is going to be a short and sweet video today, a review on the latest release by Stuart Turton called The Devil and the Dark Water. Now, if this name sounds familiar, he wrote a couple of years ago, wrote a very popular book, The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle, which won lots of awards. It was his debut novel, so this is his second one. The debut novel, I must admit, I didn't actually read. I started to listen to it on the way home from work one day after a night shift, and my brain just was too busy trying to focus on the road, and I couldn't actually follow what was going on at the time, so I abandoned it with all intentions of going back, but I got obviously distracted and didn't go back to it. But I really want to read it because I keep hearing wonderful things about it, and perhaps I should have read it before I read this one, even though I don't think they're related at all. Anyway. So because I'd heard all about Evelyn Hardcastle and how sci-fi weird it was, I was sort of expecting something similar with this one, but it wasn't exactly what I was expecting. So instead what I got was a horror, thriller, murder, mystery, Agatha Christie style. So it was still a lot of fun. So the book's set on a boat ride in the 1600s. So the boat's called the Sardem, and the boat goes from the Indies to Amsterdam, and a wide, diverse set of characters board the boat, and then something starts to terrorize them on board, and it's up to seasoned, famous detective Samuel Pepys to figure out what exactly is going on, if it's something supernatural or something sinister. So the problem is that Sammy, the detective, is actually on board as a prisoner, and he is locked in a cell in the depths of the ship. So how is he going to solve that? But I can't really go more into the plot because it will spoil everything, so it's really difficult to categorize it. The main thing that bugged me about this book would be the way that the characters were talking. So it's based in the 1600s, yet they're talking like it's the 21st century, and that really grated on me throughout the book. But then right at the end there's a section where he describes how if he'd have had written the characters speaking in typical 1600 language, that it would have been much more difficult to follow, and it would not have been as fun to, I think, to write or to read. So he ditched that idea. And I totally agree, because it would have been really distracting to have all the language, the old English language, all the way through it, especially with the events that transpired. The main strengths of this novel are the characters and the character development and the relationships between the characters, and sort of figuring out where each character is going, and it delves into all the characters' backstories and gives you a good idea of who they are. And there's not just the crew, but the passengers on the ship and the different class systems, and the detective and his assistant aunt are the best characters. They're so much fun. It had some romance, which I really enjoyed. The bad guys were really bad. There was a lot of blood and guts. There was that supernatural element to it. There was a big mystery to solve, and you were sort of second guessing everything as you were going through. And it was really enjoyable read. I gobbled it up. And plus the cover is just absolutely divine, and it's got this amazing map of the ship. So if you open the book and you hold it out like that, you can see a map of the ship, so that as you're reading it you can get an idea of where everything is if you want to. You didn't have to use it, but I found it was really a good addition to have. It was fun to look at and to go over, and it just added that something else. So it's not short, it's 550 something pages, but as you can see, there's no spine, so I pretty much devoured it pretty quickly as I do all my books. So it had a few points where it slowed down and got a little bit dull in some parts, but then it picked back up again. They didn't last long, and the uniqueness of the storyline really made up for any lulls in the story. The not so authentic language in it still really captured the essence of the ship and the feel of the characters and the sexism and the class divides, and it was just all in all a really good read. So I will give The Devil and the Dark Water 4 stars, so 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. It was a good read. I really want to go back to my Audible library and listen to Evelyn Hardcastle after that and just see how different they are. I think it'd be really interesting. Thanks for sitting through another one of my videos, and I will see you next time. Bye.